apply that knowledge when you're choosing skincare. It is a bit of a question and answers as well. So I'll do a quick presentation where I'll share my screen with you, and then it's really over to you. So if you've got any specific questions, if you're using something or if something didn't make sense to you, then by all means, it's not for me to just kind of sit here and lecture to you. It'll be great if it's kind of interaction and yeah, just give me some feedback or answer any questions. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Hopefully it works. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just go through just a quick short presentation just to have something a little bit visual for you to see. I'm quite a visual person, so I quite like to see pictures when I'm talking. Can everybody see that? Rachel, can you see it? So you can be my guide, that you can see my screen. You're probably on mute.
I can see it.
Okay, great stuff. So if you want to take yourself off mute and ask me a question during the presentation, please just stop me. Feel free to do that. So what I really want to start off with is looking at what is difference with AlumierMD to other brands, because I'm sure, just like I have, I'm sure you've tried many, many things over the years. You've read many different articles, different things on Google, been told many different things. And I just want to let you know what the difference is with AlumierMD. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the corrective formulas. So corrective formulas means that we use our products formulated with corrective formulas, clinically validated levels, so that you have an outcome. So it's about results driven. It's about having validated, clinically evident product percentages that will actually give a noticeable difference on the skin. And all of our product actors will have to have clinical trials or case studies to prove that they work within the skin. Now, there's obviously other medical grade brands out there. I'm sure some of you may have heard of them. What makes Alumier unique to other medical grade brands is the fact that our focus is clean chemistry. So our products are formulated with an approach to clean science. So what that means is we avoid ingredients like sulfates, like your sodium lauryl sulfate, which irritates the skin and is not great for your health. Ultimately, we don't use dyes and color. We don't use fragrance or perfume in the products. There's over 1,500 cosmetic ingredients that you tend to find in common cosmetics that long-term use are not great for your health. And so because with AlumierMD, it's really a medical grade skincare with a sort of a long-term approach and a long-term program, that we want to be able to give you a product that's A, effective and clinically validated, and B, to make sure that we're giving you something that's safe to use. We also don't use chemical filters in our sunscreen because of the long-term negative effect that they have on your health, as well as they're an environmental contaminant. And we also make sure that our ingredients are from a sustainable source. We don't use ingredients like palm oil from an ethical perspective. So clean chemistry is really our differentiator when we're talking about medical grade skincare. So medical grade versus a cosmetic. So a very easy example to understand this is you may have seen or purchased yourself a vitamin C serum that says 20% vitamin C. Unless you know what type of vitamin C it is, it's going to be different. So it could be 20% orange extract, or it could be 15% ascorbic acid. Both are vitamin C. There's no incorrect way about saying that. Both are vitamin C, but orange extract is going to perform very differently in the skin to the medical grade ascorbic acid. So it's the molecular structure of vitamin C to how it will perform in the skin. So ascorbic acid is what we use within our products. We use the optimal level at 15%. And ascorbic acid is what we call the bioavailable form of vitamin C. So what that means is what the skin responds to and recognizes to use at a cellular level. Whereas if you applied an orange extract vitamin C serum, the skin doesn't actually recognize orange extract and doesn't know quite what to do with it. So it would have to convert it within the skin L-ascorbic acid, and through that conversion process, the efficacy of those ingredients is ultimately reduced and lost. So we use 15% L-ascorbic acid, which is the medical grade vitamin C. With regards to clean chemistry, so as I mentioned before, we don't use chemical filters on our sunscreen. And I'll get a little bit more into detail in a little while on chemical filters. But the reason why we don't use chemical filters is because we sell our sunscreens as your day moisturizer to use through winter, through summer, and forever, really. And so if you are using a chemical filter in your sunscreen, there is a long-term negative effect to your health because there is linked to endocrine disruption with using chemical filters. So anything that contains like a day cream that contains an SPF, or majority of retail sunscreens are chemical filters. They're cheaper to produce and they tend to feel sort of better on the skin than traditional physical filters. I'm sure some of you have seen what the cricketers wear. So there's sort of white zinc on the face. That is a physical filter. It's the most effective physical filter against sunscreen, against the sun, but obviously cosmetically doesn't look so great. So what we do is we micronize the zinc oxide and we use titanium dioxide, and these are mineral sunscreens. So they sit on the surface of the skin, they don't absorb into the body at all, and they reflect light away from the skin. So oxybenzone or avobenzone are common chemical sunscreen filters that we want to avoid. Parabens, I'm sure you've heard of parabens before. There's quite a lot of negative press around that. So parabens are a family of preservatives that are used again in a lot of cosmetics. And again, there's linked to endocrine disruption and a contaminant, environmental contaminant. And then retinol palmitate, which is vitamin A, or a retinoid. So retinoid can come in various forms. Retinol palmitate, when you use it in the presence of UV, so during the day, has links to the speed up of development of skin tumors and lesions. So we don't advocate using vitamin A during the day at all. We do recommend using retinol, but at night only. And it's really important to wash it off in the morning and always use a sun protection during the day. So let's just look a little bit about what the structure of the skin is and what it actually means, what we're trying to achieve. So this is sort of a bisection of the structure of the skin. So this is up here is called the stratum corneum. So that's the skin that you visibly can see. And then underneath the stratum corneum, you've got various different layers, and this is called the epidermis. At the basal layer, this is where your new skin cells are produced. And then this is the dermis, where your collagen fibers lie. And your collagen fibers are what responsible for the plumpness, the elasticity within your skin. And then you've got the subcutaneous or the fat layer down here. So this is a healthy structure of the skin. This is the hair follicle or the pore, where obviously there's a hair coming out of it. And then this is the oil gland over here. So what happens in an aging skin? You get a buildup of dead skin cells over here. And the cell turnover, so the movement of new skin cells down here to the surface, should take 28 days. So before the age of 25, it takes 28 days. As you get older, that whole process slows down. So I'm 43. So my cell turnover would be every 40 days if I don't sort of interrupt that by using exfoliators and retinols. So what that means is these skin cells down here take much longer to get to the surface, and then they kind of stick to the surface and collect here. So you're getting older skin cells that are sticking to the surface. The skin becomes quite rough. It looks quite dull. The selfie picture that you're taking requires a filter because the skin is not as smooth and plump as it would be a younger skin. So part of treating aging would be to increase cellular turnover. So to encourage these healthy skin cells down here to move up quicker, push off, and then keep going on that process. Because what will happen is your epidermis will be flattened. It'll be smoother. So when the light hits the skin, it bounces off, and then you have that radiance. And then you've improved the total health of the epidermis. So the skin structure is much improved. Then down here in the dermis, you've got collagen elastin, and this breaks down with age. That's why the skin starts to sag. We start to get lines and wrinkles. So we need to use ingredients that are going to help to stimulate the collagen elastin production, as well as ingredients to protect your collagen and elastin formulations. So one of those ingredients is vitamin C. So only L-ascorbic acid, the medical grade vitamin C, will have an effect on collagen production. Any other form of vitamin C will be an antioxidant, which means it will protect the cells of your skin. But unless it's L-ascorbic acid, it will have no effect on the production of collagen and elastin. Within our Everactive CNE, which is our hero product, you also have vitamin E, which is an antioxidant. And you also have, it's also very, very hydrating for the skin. And you have a peptide called matrixyl SYN-6. This is a peptide that stimulates the cells down here in the dermis to produce these collagen and elastin fibers. It's also a peptide that will stimulate the cells to produce water in your skin. So your natural hyaluronic acid. So if any of you have had fillers, cheek fillers, lip fillers before, that's using hyaluronic acid just in different molecular structures. So if you're having volume in your cheeks or your lips, the hyaluronic acid is just kind of like thicker and more volume, whereas you have natural hyaluronic acid within your skin. So the peptide matrixyl SYN-6 is stimulating not only your collagen elastin production, but your natural hyaluronic acid within your skin. So of course, therefore suitable for everybody. So when you apply your vitamin C, it's ultimately protecting your cells from free radical damage. So free radical damage is from stress, from breathing. It's basically oxidation of your cells. So if you think of when you cut open an avocado, it goes brown, that's oxidation. If you add some lemon, it stops it from browning. So your lemon, of course, contains vitamin C, and that's going to prevent that oxidation. So when we talk about antioxidants or free radical damage means damage to your cells. So you'll always find in medical skincare that they will always be talking about antioxidants. So vitamin C is an antioxidant, vitamin E is an antioxidant, vitamin A is an antioxidant, green tea is an antioxidant. You get the where I'm going with that. Now let's talk about retinols. I'm sure some of you have tried retinols, or I'm sure you've heard about the word of retinol. So the retinol works within the deeper layers of the cell. So it penetrates through the layers of the skin, and it sits down here in the basal layer where your new skin cell is produced. And basically when it sits there, the skin thinks, oh, there's a layer there and I need to push the skin up and off. So it encourages exfoliation from within. It also helps to stimulate collagen and elastin production, and it's an antioxidant. So it's really essential for anti-aging. If you suffer with acne scarring, it also helps to stimulate collagen and elastin production to help to repair the scarring. If you suffer with pigmentation, the increase of exfoliation through the use of a retinol is going to push that excess pigment up and off. And if you have a problem with acne, congestion, breakouts, it also has the ability to exfoliate over here where you generally get the blockage, like a blackhead or a whitehead. So that exfoliation by using the retinol is going to help to loosen the skin and prevent that blockage. So it's also really good for acne. So it's again an essential ingredient. It's probably one of the most researched ingredients when you talk about anti-aging. So it has the most science evidence based on the efficacy that it has within the skin. And with the Lumie, we've got 3 different strengths. So depending on your skin type and what you're treating, Rachel would obviously advise you to which strength you would start on. And it would only ever be used at night. The other hero serum that I want to talk to you about is Ultimate Boost Serum. And it's our #1 selling serum. #2 is Everactive CNE. And we say at AlumierMD, if you have skin, then you should be using Ultimate Boost Serum, because it's got 2 key ingredients. You've got the matrixyl SYN-6 again, so that peptide to stimulate collagen elastin production and your own natural hyaluronic acid. And then it has hyaluronic acid just in a different form called sodium hyaluronate, which penetrates quite deep into the skin, and it's going to plump the skin up. So anybody that suffers with dehydration, after you cleanse your skin, if your skin feels really, really tight, it generally means your skin is a bit dehydrated. So not dry, because dry means you don't have oil in your skin, but dehydrated meaning lacking water. So you need to really hydrate the skin. We're all spending a lot more time inside because there's nowhere else to go. And I don't know about you, but my desk is near the heater. So my skin is constantly being dehydrated because the heating in the house is essentially evaporating that water out of my skin. So not only drinking water, but actually allowing the skin to use peptides to stimulate that water production essentially within the skin, as well as we're all got to be stimulating collagen elastin, because as you age, your natural aging process is that you lose collagen and elastin production. So you're always going to be having to use ingredients that are going to be stimulating and protecting that collagen and elastin. Just quickly going into sun signs. So we've spoken about anti-aging ingredients, essential ingredients to stimulate collagen elastin production, increase cell turnover to mimic an aging skin. Nothing is worth you spending your money unless you protect your skin from the sun. And the reason for that is because UVA and UVB that penetrates through glass, even if you're sitting inside next to a window, damages your collagen and elastin fibers. So again, this is the structure of the skin. So you have UVB. So on a nice sunny day when it's nice and hot, you have more UVB. Your UVB goes through your skin and it goes down to the basal layer, and it affects this little cell down here. And this cell here produces pigment. So you get a tan. Hopefully, not like me, I go red. Some people are lucky enough to go brown. So it's basically creating pigment to protect the skin. That's what a tan is. And within the sun, you also have UVA. Now, the problem with UVA is that you can't really feel that wave. It's not heat related like you have with UVB on a nice sunny day. So even on an overcast day or during winter when it's light, in those few hours that it's light, you still have UVA rays that penetrate through the epidermis, down to the dermis, and break down these collagen elastin fibers. So I'm sure you've heard Rachel say you have to use your sunscreen through winter and through summer. And you kind of like, well, there's no sun. Why should I? Like, really, like I'm freezing cold. Like there's no warmth in the sun at all. And the reason is because the UVA, even on an overcast day, it can penetrate through glass, is destroying your collagen elastin fibers. It is also a source of free radicals. So it's oxidizing your cells within your skin. We use zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. These are the mineral sunscreens that we use to protect you from burning, so your UVB, as well as your UVA. So it covers the entire light spectrum. So this is the nanometers of the light. So it covers the entire spectrum of UVA and UVB. You can see these are chemical filters. So some of them will protect you from burning, but will have no effect on UVA. So you won't burn, as in you won't get color, but you're having no protection to the dermis where your collagen fibers, and so therefore you are aging. You can see sometimes like avobenzone is a better protector. So often you'll find in chemical filters, you'll have a combination between different filters, but at the end of the day, they are linked to endocrine disruption, which means they mimic estrogen within your body, and therefore obviously linked to, certain disruption around that. As I said to you before, Alumia is focused on clean science. So this is what happens to the coral of the sea when you swim in the sea and using chemical filters and sunscreens. You see often when you go into the sea, you see sort of like a pool of color or sort of shimmer on the water around you, and that's the sunscreen coming off you. And it's really toxic for the environment, and chemical filters are banned in places like Hawaii and the Great Barrier Reef because of the effect that this has on the coral reefs. However, because Alumia is mineral-based, titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, these are natural occurring ingredients, you can use physical filters in places like Hawaii and the Great Barrier Reef. So we have a couple different sunscreens, the way you choose. Two questions really. Do you like a sunscreen that has a color or one without? And do you like a sheer dewy type of finish? So generally a drier aging skin prefers that, or do you prefer a matte finish where you don't have any shine? And that's how you would choose. So your moisture mattes also are great because they double up as a lightweight mineral foundation, and they come in 3 different shades. So it's going to be a matte finish, but with the other added benefit of a lightweight foundation. And then you have, oh, that was the moisture matte, sorry. And then you have Clear Shield, and Clear Shield is good for all skin types. It's specifically designed for an oily acneic skin because there's no oil at all in this sunscreen. It also has niacinamide, so it's really anti-inflammatory. It's quite soothing for the skin and hydrating. Men generally prefer it because there's no sort of texture or any residue left on the skin. My children prefer Clear Shield because, again, they don't want to have anything kind of heavy feeling on the skin. And then we have Sheer Hydration, which is lightweight but has more of an oil content, so it'll give you more of that dewy finish, more of a sheer finish, and it comes in an untinted if you don't want any color, or it comes in a versatile tint which will match your skin tone. And this is really kind of sold like a tinted moisturizer. So it just comes down to preference, what you prefer. So with our sunscreens, they are also going to be your day moisturizer. So whichever serums are relevant to you, the daytime treatment, you would be using whichever serum is applicable to you, and then you apply your sunscreen. So you're getting your UVA protection, so preventing that collagen breakdown, your UVB protection, so it stops the burn, but ultimately it's also going to be hydrating your skin and potentially giving you that little bit of finish if you've chosen something like the moisture matte or the sheer hydration versatile tint. So just to recap, active ingredients are important, but the type of formulation and the percentage that comes in the formulation is crucial to have an effect on the skin. With AlumierMD, the focus is clean science, so that it's not harmful. And of course, part of the Alumia is also being able for you to consult with a professional like Rachel, and that she can prescribe what would be best suited for you. Obviously sell stock when the clinic is open, or sign you up to the online platform. Once you've had a consultation, you're able then to do your own research on products and make those purchases online. And Rachel has full transparency of any orders that you do. She can put notes in your profile to help you with direction of use. And also it's an ongoing journey because your skin will change as you go through the process. You might need to tweak your routine. You might need to stop using things and add other things as your skin changes and progresses down this journey. So yeah, just in summary, my last slide, just to recap.
Well, sorry. Paula, can I just ask a quick question? On the sunscreens, or yes, any of it really, is it geared, presumably most of it is geared to women, but I'm thinking sunscreen wise, do men use this as well? I'm just, it's ringing alarm bells with my dad, and I can see this being, what you're saying would be great on my dad's skin, but is there, are they all tinted, did you say?
No, not at all. So the packaging is very unisex. Men don't have a problem with it. It doesn't smell like roses and lavender and perfumes. It's very unisex. So we have, so for men, probably if they're not super dry, Clear Shield is a good one because it's very lightweight. It doesn't leave the skin white or ashy. There's no color or anything in it. So absolutely Clear Shield, or if they're a little bit dry, then you can do Sheer Hydration untinted.
Say that again, it just cut out, sorry. If they are dry?
If they're dry, Sheer Hydration untinted.
Thank you.
Simone, we do seasonal skincare reviews for all of our clients as part of our service anyway. If you want me to take a look at your dad's skin, or like if you want to do it for him, and we can go through like what his concerns are, what you're thinking about for him, and I can make some recommendations for you, like specifically for your dad, if you want me to do that. In fact, if anyone does want
take photos really as well,
because I was saying to Paula the other day, we offer that purely because like I say to a lot of my clients, you wouldn't wear the same clothes in the summer as you would do the winter, so often your skincare will change depending on the time of year and like so many other things that impact it. So we offer, like I said, that as a service anyway. But if you do want to do that, then just pop your email address in the chat, and this goes for anyone. If you want a seasonal review, then just pop your email in the chat, and then I will contact you later and get it set up, and I can go through that stuff for your dad with you.
That'd be great. Thanks, Rachel. Lovely.
Please.
Yeah, so the beauty of AlumierMD is that, you know, we're all on Zoom calls. I mean, how weird is this? Like, who would ever have thought we would be doing an event like this a year ago? But the beauty of this sort of platform is that you can connect with Rachel, you can have a Zoom call, you can connect with other friends and family, and, you know, have a chat about your skin. If you don't feel comfortable with doing video calls, you can, you know, get a detailed consultation form filled out, send photos of your skin or your kid's skin or your husband's skin, and Rachel can give, you know, an assessment and then sign you up to the portal, and then you then have the full prescription pad and recommendation, and you can do your own research. So you can click on the product, you can read what it's about, you know, before you make that decision. And then Rachel has full clarity and transparency of what you purchase. And as you said, it's about a journey. So checking in every, you know, couple of weeks, every few months to make sure that you're on the right path, and you might need to tweak things when we go from winter into summer or summer into spring, etc. It's about tweaking as you go along, and maybe you need to start on a whole lot of things, and then you've got to, you can start to drop things as the skin improves. So we have an online platform. You can't buy Illumia discounted on eBay or Amazon or Look Fantastic or anything. And the reason for that is because it's medical grade. It has to be recommended through a professional who's trained, and it's pretty strong. So if you use the wrong thing in the wrong way, you are going to get an adverse action. And the whole purpose of AlumierMD is to arm professionals like Rachel to give you products that will work, but that she can keep tabs on your progress. We don't want people to just go online and buy whatever and not have any connection between the consumer and the practitioner. Any questions? Fire away. No, all good.
I think you've done such a good job, Paula. You explained.
Yeah. Hi, Paula. Can I ask a question? When you're using the retinol, because I'm using that at the moment, especially around my lips, do you have to use a moisturizer on top for it to work, or can you just apply the retinol on its own at night?
So you can apply just the retinol on its own. The action that retinol has, it increases cell turnover. So you find that those skin cells come to the surface and lift off. And so almost your skin feels a bit dry because you're getting that kind of flaking. So to alleviate the dryness, one of the things you could do is moisturize over the top.
Right.
It doesn't, also depends on your skin. So if your skin is naturally quite dry and quite sensitive and dehydrated, you're probably going to have the need or the feel that you require a moisturizer. My skin's quite oily, so and I use retinol then Ultimate Boost, so I don't feel, in the summer particularly, I don't feel I need a moisturizer, but in the winter I do feel like I need a moisturizer.
Okay. So once I've finished using the 0.5, which I find now my skin isn't peeling as much, can I go slightly stronger next time round?
Yes, absolutely. So when you get to the point where you are now using it every night and you're not getting kind of any flaking or irritation, it means that your skin has adapted. So your skin has built essentially more vitamin A receptors on the cell wall, so it can tolerate more vitamin A. So now's the time to step up, and you will go back to slowly introducing again, so a couple times a week, and build up. And you might find, depending on your skin, you might get with 1% that you can only tolerate 5 days a week, and anything more than that, your skin becomes too sensitive. Then that's fine, you just stay at 5 days. And then if you want to bounce between 0.5 and 1%, once you've got the result that you want, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Depending on what you're treating and your age.
Great, thank you.
So I think the purpose of today's call is, obviously, I know some of you are Lumia users, some of you are not, and it was just really to reach out, give you that information, and then to just really get you connected to Rachel. So if you do a seasonal skin review, book in to see Rachel. She can then sign you up to the portal, so you have access to research and you know, make the purchases online, because obviously clinics are closed. And it was just really to give you the science behind AlumierMD, because I know sometimes there's so much information online or in department stores, and it's kind of like, you know, what to believe and what to understand. And it always comes down to, what are you trying to achieve in the skin? And that is, you know, from an aging perspective, protection and stimulation of collagen, elastin, and working on your cellular turnover and your hydration. So those are the key ingredients that you need to look for. How you get those, obviously that comes in products, formulations, and then that's where Rachel will guide you on what is best for your skin. Over to you, Rachel.
Perfect. Thank you, Paula. That was really, really useful. We've got a couple of other sessions lined up, haven't we, to go through specifically more kind of, you know, we've got one on acne, one on pigmentation, because obviously that's a big thing for a lot of people. So we will get those dates and links out to everyone. And like I said, you know, if you do want a personalized review, just drop me your email, and I've got quite a few of your emails anyway, but drop me an email and I can get those organized. We've got quite a lot lined up over the next few days, but we've got, you know, plenty of time at the moment, so we can get it booked in.
Yeah, plenty of time. Exactly. Well, it was lovely to see all of your faces. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Paula.
Pleasure, no problem at all. Have a lovely evening.